We are still early into the season, but there is no time to strike but when the iron is hot. So we need to get on top of it. And today, Matt and I have 10 names that you either need to buy high or sell low on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source of fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Dominick Martino. You can find me on Twitter at DonMartinoFB. Here, as always, with my brother, my co-host, my partner in crime, Matthew Ahne, and you can find him on Twitter at Matthew_Ahne. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already, hit that little bell below. It will subscribe you to the channel and give you a notification every time we drop a new episode. Or if you're listening on the audio side of things on a platform like Apple or Spotify that allows 5-star ratings and reviews, we would truly, truly appreciate it if you could do that for us. And guys, we're here early in the season, and there's no better time to join us on the Subtext platform. Through Subtext, it's an in-depth, personalized experience where you're going to get text messaging alerts going right to your phone, offering so much more than we can in these 30-minute episodes. And this time of year, you're going to get our waiver wire players ranked, a little bit of details on them. You're going to get those instant call-up notifications going right to your phone that nobody else in the industry is offering. So get ahead of the curve on your fantasy league by joining us on the Subtext platform. The link is in the bio wherever you're listening, watching, or it's available on any of our social media platforms. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. All right, Matt, I mentioned it up top. We're only about 4 or 5 games into the season for most teams, right? But this is time. This is overreaction theater. We haven't had baseball in months. So everybody's sitting there looking at their teams. They're either getting really worried or overexcited. So this is the time where we take advantage of that. And like I said, we got a bunch of great names on today's episode. And Matt, where are we starting off today?
All right, we're going to start with one that we were calling a bust going into the season, but not because of the talent or the player, but because of the price and the spring that this person was having. That's Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox. So far, that poor performance that we've seen in the spring has now carried over into the actual season. By all means, am I not saying that, Rafael Devers is going to have a bad season? Absolutely not. The whole point of this episode is to try and buy low on the tilt and the overreaction. And this is pretty much the take advantage week. Everybody looks at it like, oh my God, this guy sucks. And, he doesn't. He's going to be just fine. Baseball's 160 games, but, you got somebody probably on a trade trigger that's regretting their price, and this is the perfect opportunity to pounce. So this is what we're going to do with Rafael Devers. I think that I'm going to try and get it. And there's an argument for it. I'm going to try and go out there and trade for him. He had a really terrible spring, through 14 at-bats, no home runs, only 2 ribs, batting .214, then comes over his first 4 games and goes 0 for 16, RBI, doesn't put a single bat to the ball. Like, it's ugly. Yeah, people complaining online about his weight and how it's time to trim the fat, as one reporter is saying, and, time to, get skinny and look like you're in shape for once. So, I mean, there's all those things and all those kind of, like, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? But storytelling, I guess, or the way that people are shaping the story for Devers this year. And it's the perfect opportunity to pounce. Let them go do their research. Send the guy the link. Big yo, I'll take him off your hands. I need a third baseman. I just lost Josh Young, or I just lost, etc. I'll give you something. You probably aren't going to get him for 10 cents on the dollar, but maybe 50 cents on the dollar, 75% on the dollar. And that is the key. That is how you win the trade. Obviously, we all know that Rafael Devers is going to turn it around. But again, then you didn't have to spend a 2nd or 3rd round pick on him. You're now trading a guy you probably paid a 5th round or 6th round pick that you're also maybe that is probably overperforming, or guys later on this show that you might be able to package because they're in a rough spot and they're like, oh my God, I don't have a third baseman. I'll give you a little quick sneak peek, but Eugenio Suarez later in the show is probably a sell high, and it's because he already has 4 home runs through legit 4 games, and he's just monstering it out. Perfect sell high guy. Obviously, you're not going to get 1 for 1, but it's a package deal, and that is the part that's going to get things interesting. So you might be able to go out and take some of these guys and move them on for Rafael Devers, and that's pretty much the goal here today.
Yeah, Matt, great breakdown there on Devers, and I'm going to throw this in there. He's upset, man. I think that's part of the problem. You know, obviously when Bregman came over, the talk was that he was going to play second. Didn't work out that way. He's playing third. Devers is stuck DHing. He obviously going to turn it around. I think the big hope here is that he gets traded. I think that the Red Sox got too many of these young guys in the minors that are hungry. Roman Anthony hit 2 home runs in his first game down in the minors. So, you know, these boys down there are hungry. They're ready to come, you know, take these jobs. If Devers keeps playing like this, obviously he's one of the best players in the game, 3-time All-Star, you know, has hit over 30 home runs 3 times in his career. So obviously he turns it around. You know, I think there's a chance he has a year. But once again, you know, this is about taking advantage of an opportunity. If you can get him for 50, 60 cents on the dollar, I think that's the move right now. I think you know, you're not going to have to overpay for a guy who was like a 3rd round pick who could still hit you 30 home runs and have a good amount of RBIs and, you know, hit 270, 280. Of course, Devers could definitely do that. So I'm going out there. Matt, you broke him down very well, so I'm not going to add too much else here on Rafael Devers, but definitely a good buy low option. Let's move on to this next guy. It's not a buy low opportunity, but I think there is a little window. It's Gunnar Henderson. So Gunnar Henderson suffered from the injury, working his way back. One of the best young stars in the game. He's a guy, if you can get Henderson for even 90, 85 cents on the dollar, I'm doing that in a heartbeat because this kid's going to come around. That Orioles lineup is rocking and rolling with Mullins and O'Neill and the Wild West, Jordan Westberg. That team's been absolutely stellar. So I think Gunnar Henderson's just going to jump in there. And even Adley. How did I forget Adley? Adley's been great too. So this team's going to be really good. I'm talking to the Gunnar Henderson owner. Maybe he has, you know, somebody on his team who he could spare, you know, maybe they took advantage at shortstop. They jumped back in, got somebody a little bit, later after Gunnar Henderson because they knew he was going to be hurt. So they backed him up. Maybe their shortstop's rocking and rolling, and you can go out there and pay 85, 90 cents for Gunnar Henderson. Where he's at in his recovery, he is currently, he's eligible actually on Thursday. So he's actually played in the minors. He homered Sunday. He's 4 for 12 on his rehab assignment. So you might not be able to catch, you know, the guys who are truly paying attention. But, you know, if you catch somebody sleeping here before Henderson gets back, I think there's a small by low opportunity here. Just want to throw it out there for anyone who's playing in a redraft league. Maybe you're playing in your home league and everyone's not too on top of stuff. And, you know, this is where we take advantage. You jump on that stuff early in the season and you get done what you can.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with everything you said. I mean, quite honestly, it's definitely somebody you definitely got to at least take a shot on. You know, somebody picked them, they might just be like, yeah, I'm just going to hang on to him. It's pretty much just it. You know, you also seen that he's on track to start Thursday, which also kind of makes things a little bit more uncertain of whether you're going to be able to pay the whole price for him. But I mean, hey, you know, we're in week 1. He's back. It's going to be rough, but I'm swinging a shot. I'm going to take a shot. I mean, he's a first-round talent, and I think the ADP actually fell quite ridiculously. I still would have picked him in top 5 with knowing that he only was missing like not even a whole week. So for me, it's just Gunnar Henderson just needs to be taken. But let's move on. Let's talk about Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease, another guy that I think is a great buy low option. I'm trying to get his page up real quick, but somebody that I think everybody knew that he was pretty much going to be a top end pitcher and, you know, has heard me kind of talk about, hey, you know, I'm really not a fan. I don't think he's a top 12 arm. I don't like the price. 100%. This first outing is overreaction city. A 6.23 ERA through 4 innings with 7 strikeouts and a whip of 1.385. Yeah, it's not good. You hear guys talk, you hear me talking about it. You know, if you're in a league with somebody that listens to Locked On, I could totally see them like spiraling. Oh, why did I do that, etc. And other people that may not like Cease. So this is the perfect opportunity to throw a really, really dirty low trade on that. You're still gonna have to give up a name, but like, you know, you might be able to give up, like, I don't know, deGrom, or if they need a bat, you know, you might be able to get something going like that where you could just go, okay, cool, here, slide that in real quick, and just like, here, you know, I look at it and I go, I might be able to take it. And I would rather have him traded on my team than me drafting him, essentially. And now he's your pitcher 4 versus, you know, your pitcher 1. and that's the big part. But before I even let Dom give his side, because I know he is a Cease fan, so you'll be able to hear a little bit more positive side coming up after this.
And guys, March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. And, when you're on FanDuel, they make it super easy to pick your favorites. Me personally, I've got my eye on a few underdogs this year, and FanDuel makes it super easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. You're going to got to stay in on the action, right? Because, with the tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something exciting to bet on with these crazy teams going out there, these scores. It's the best time of year for college basketball easily. And, when I say easy, it makes me think of how easy and fast that FanDuel app is to use. Guys, it's just super simple. And then when I get paid out instantly. So there's no waiting around at all. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action tournament long with FanDuel. And guys, got to throw it out there once more. Got to give us a chance on the Subtext platform, right? Because it's going to be your secret weapon all season long. It's going to give you that little competitive, edge bonus against your league mates because they're not on Subtext with us like you guys are going to be. So you know what? When you join us on Subtext, link is in bio. If you're listening or watching, you're going to get those text message alerts going right to your phone. Nobody else in the industry is offering that. You're going to get those call-up alerts when Roman Anthony gets called up. You're going to know before anybody else. You're going to be able to get him on your team. And then even we go in depth with our waiver wire episodes. We rank all the guys we talk about, throwing a few extra names every once in a while, and then we give you some reasons why we like those guys. So once again, join us on Subtext. The link is in the bio. If you're listening, watching, it's available on any of our social media platforms. But all right, Matt, let me jump back in with Dylan Cease, right? So the thing is you get a lot of guys, that go in there and they just look at the numbers, right? They see 4.1 innings, they see the 6.23 ERA, which is really only 3 runs, and the 1.38 WHIP, and they're like, oh, Dylan Cease off to a rough start. So a lot of guys drafted him as their ace. He was, a consensus like top 10 guy, top 12 guy. I think he still should be considered that. He's one of the most dominant strikeout pitchers in the league. He's really turned that corner last year when he got over there to San Diego. San Diego's well known for working with their starting pitchers and getting good results. So I don't think it was just a mirage what we saw last year. There were some genuine changes that led to those good results. Dylan Cease has made at least 32 starts the last 4 seasons, not including this year, obviously. So he's reliable. I just think there's no reason we should be reconsidering our thoughts after one 4.1 inning start where he gave up 3 runs, only walked 2. He still struck out 7, struck out 5 out of 6 at one point. And don't forget, this was against those Atlanta Braves. So it was no easy task to go out there in your first start of the season and expect super dominant results. He's still getting warmed up. I guarantee you he's going to have a solid season the rest of the way. So if you can go out there right now, 60, 75 cents on the dollar for Dylan Cease, I'm doing it. Maybe you package together, a pitcher you drafted at the end that's off to a good start. I'll tell you this. If you could do Mackenzie Gore and something light, maybe like or a pitcher, a hitter off your bench for Dylan Cease, I'm doing that all day. I'll throw that out there. But I really like me some Dylan Cease. Go out there, take advantage while you still can. Let's move on to this next guy. I think there's even a bigger buying window on this next guy. It's Roki Sasaki. I'll say this. Going into the season, right? The hype was there. Everyone said, oh, Roki Sasaki is going to be amazing. And at some point, I think everyone had him in like the top 20 as starting pitcher, which was an overreaction, right? That calmed down. I think he settled somewhere around 30-ish, something like that. So we would probably you had to take him as likely your SP3, somewhere around there. It hasn't paid off so far. 2 rough starts. We thought we were going to be able to throw that start in Japan out the window against the Cubs, and then he'd come out here and be a little bit better. Looks pretty bad in that second start against Detroit. He only gave us 1.2 innings. It really was only 2 runs that he allowed. Still 3 hits and 4 walks. Really didn't have that control going because he threw 61 pitches. Hardly half of those were strikes with only 32. Through his first 2 starts, 9 walks over 4.2 innings. It's been tough. It's definitely going to get better. Is Sasaki going to be the next Yamamoto? It's definitely not looking that way, right? And I don't think he has the stuff to be the next Yamamoto. Hey, but can he still be a solid pitcher? Can he still be a low to mid 3 ERA guy with around a K per 9? And he's got to figure out these walk issues. So I'm not super hopeful on the whip at the moment. So we'll see where the thing goes for Sasaki. But this is a guy I honestly think maybe you can get him for 50 cents on the dollar, 60 cents on the dollar. I don't think you're going to have to pay a lot. And I think his next start is against the Phillies. So that's not going to be a super fun time either. So maybe even wait till after that Phillies start. I don't think Sasaki is going to shine in that one. Could be wrong. I'm still talking to the Sasaki owner. I'm going to shoot him a text. I'm going to say, hey, listen, he's been horrible. We thought we were going to be able, like I said, be able to throw that Japan start out the window. Didn't work. And you kind of see what you could do from there. But this kid still could be really, really good. He's young. And keeper in dynasty format, definitely want to try and grab him there because I think he's going to figure it out. That team around him is too good. Don't forget, I talked about Yamamoto. He's got Yamamoto and Ohtani in his ear, and apparently they're all really good friends. So he's got them going to teach him the ways, show him how to get it done out here. So I'm a big Sasaki guy. I'm going out there and I'm trying to acquire him at the moment.
Well said. I mean, look, a very talented pitcher, better profile than I think Yamamoto was coming into it, and he's just as young. So there's no reason he should not be successful in the MLB. He just may not be the instant impact that we all thought he would be. So, Roki Sasaki is a great buy low candidate by all means, even if he is, you buy low and you just kind of let him sit on your bench for a couple matchups until he kind of figures things out. There's nothing wrong with it. You didn't pay the draft price. And again, people get on the tilt. And once people start tilting, because that's what they do this early in the game, this is what you do. You go in and you try and snag them. This is the perfect time. I love when people tilt. It's like Christmas for me. I take advantage of you and I make you look silly come the end of the year. It's just how we do things. But anyway,
I will say this: Matt is an expert at that. We got some home leagues where Matt is literally the expert of the early season trade. So if you're going to listen to anybody, Matt knows the art.
Yeah, most likely I will have 2 out of the 5 of these guys on my team by the end of this episode. Just saying.
I wouldn't be shocked. I don't put it past them.
But let's move on. Let's try and get this one in. Spencer Strider of the Atlanta Braves. He's one that this is going to be kind of like a buy up, but also you're still buying at the discount because of who he is, right? He went at a decent price. He was rising up draft boards and he's working his way back. We just don't know when, but there's a special category where I think you'll be able to get him off somebody's team. Other than that, I don't think you're going to be able to. It's the person that drafted him and Shane McClanahan or a Brandon Woodruff that is now sitting with a guy that they had to add onto their IL that they were expecting to be there. And now, okay, I have an IL completely full and I don't know what to do, but I drafted this guy. So let me see if I could try and do it, right? And that's where you try and package a few of these guys. Guy later in the show is going to be Jacob deGrom. You could totally trade him for a Strider. And somebody might even do that straight up. His ADP was legit 13th pitcher off the board. And by the time you got to, draft weekend and NFBC. So Jacob deGrom is a great target to trade away. And, for a Strider, I'm all about it. There, you might have to package a couple other people as well, but hey, see what you could do. This is the perfect opportunity to improve your rotation, take advantage of somebody having a bad situation. I don't know if anybody's seen the We Are Your Friends movie with Zac Efron, but you pay attention to the dude that was in Walking Dead and his business was taking advantage of people, foreclosing homes. And, pretty much I'm going to buy the house and I'm going to rent it back to you. And then you can't afford it. I got to kick you out of your own home. That's pretty much what you're going to do with Spencer Strider. And, that's what you got to do. Just take advantage of people in bad situations.
Yeah, man, I'm with you on Strider for sure. My bold prediction on Strider at the beginning of the year is that he could be the SP1. I don't think that's a realistic expectation, but hey, could Strider finish the year inside the top 10 starting pitchers? Of course, Matt. I love the mention of deGrom. I was going to take that route with this too. I think literally you could go to the guy that has Strider and you might be able to talk him into taking deGrom straight up for Strider. That's if he's not a Spencer Strider guy, and this is more of a redraft league, type of claim, because obviously you're not going to be able to do that in a keeper type situation. And I really think this is the last chance at all. We're going to have to be able to buy on Strider. Looks like he's going to only need 2 more rehab starts. In his last one, he went 3 innings, struck out 6. Strider's just picked up where he left off. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. I believe he was touching. I believe his highest velocity was 97.4. So Strider himself said that's something he works up to. I think he was only sitting about 95, 96 when he first came back. So he is building back up. He's going to be one of the best pitchers in the game. And if you could, the thing is if you could pay the price of where Strider was going, which was like around an SP 3-4, if you could pay that kind of price for Strider, do it. If you have to pay a little bit more, do it. Don't get crazy. Don't get out of your mind for a guy like Strider, but he's going to be really, really good. But with that being said, we got a bunch of awesome names. We got, Matt mentioned Suarez. I mentioned Gore, deGrom, and we got some names we haven't even mentioned that coming up next.
Get the supplies you need from the site that's made for skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, electrical work, or anything under the sun that just has you doing a craft, or pro work essentially, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from the 400 top brands, you'll find exactly what you need and delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, try out their free Trade Master program. Offers exclusive perks like dedicated phone lines, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now is your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, electrical supplies in just a few clicks. Plus, use the promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order at supplyhouse.com. Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't work out when you don't wear your glasses, but too many people complain about me, seeing my reflection. So, it is what it is. But hey, let's get back into it, Dom. So let's talk about a guy that's pretty much destroying the listener league on our team.
I'm excited about that.
You can go full force on this. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, let's talk about Eugenio Suarez, baby. I have him in 3 out of my 4 big leagues. I just feel like he was being severely overlooked going into the year. Can't understand why. 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, 90 runs, 256 batting average for Suarez last year. It didn't make sense where he was going. You were getting him almost free 99 at the end of your drafts, and it's paying off so far. But here's the thing. You got to strike while the iron's hot. He's not going to keep this up all year. Even if he hits 30 and 100 and hits 250 again, it's still not going to be at this pace. So you take advantage of that. And if you could jump in, we talked about Devers earlier. If there's definitely leagues where you could do that straight up right now. I promise you. It might not be a lot of them, but there's leagues where you can go and you could trade Suarez straight up for Devers. And obviously you do that. But if you have to add in, once again, you have to add in a closer, you have to add in, a starting pitcher that you got late that's working out, to go out and, make a move like that, I'd do it. I'm not selling him for free. I'm definitely not selling Suarez for free because, like I said, there's still a good profile here. He's been an all-star before. He's hit 30-plus home runs. It's 5 times in his career. He hit 49 home runs in 2019. He has the power. It's legit. The lineup's really good in Arizona. It's a better ballpark than Seattle. So it's not as good as Cincinnati, but, it's reminiscent of those Cincinnati days where he was hitting all these home runs. So it's a good profile. I'm not giving him up for free. He's going to have a lot of RBIs. He's going to hit around 30 home runs, and he'll probably hit 250-ish around there. So once again, know what you're selling, know what you're getting back. There's definitely a lot of trades you could pull off with Suarez right now, but do not, and I repeat, do not give Suarez up for free because he will still be very useful this year.
Yeah, he's just like the old reliable, not so sexy pick.
Exactly.
That's really all he is. And quite honestly, too, he's not a picture of consistency either. And that is why I think Suarez always falls so low in drafts, right? Like you look at last year, for instance, where he did hit 30 home runs. It all came in July, August, and September. April, May, and June, he only hit 2 home runs. Then you look at July, he smacks off 10, then 5 in August, and then 9 in September and October. Like, this is it. If he's going to start off the year hot, and that's going to be the bulk of his home runs, capitalize. 100% capitalize. And third base is completely annihilated this year. Options are just not great. And it's not like you're getting this overachiever. You're going to want an edge early. So, sell off, buy the Devers, buy the other guys out there and see what you can do. Package these guys together and try and get a trade done. And, it's just what you need to do. So let's move on. Let's talk about Mackenzie Gore, who had an amazing outing, who, is a great talent, has that prospect pedigree, is probably one of the names that everybody's always so excited about. And he's the perfect trade bait. being with everything I just said. There is that track record of excitement for him. So let's take advantage. Honestly, as much as I liked his first outing and he looked sharp and he had good stuff going on, I don't know how much of his performance is due to him being that good or the shadows that were really getting into everybody's eyes. Because by the time Mackenzie Gore was out of the game, the everybody started hitting, and it wasn't, I don't think, because of Mackenzie Gore. I think it was because the shadows are now out of their faces and they can actually see. And and that was both for both teams, right? Like you look at it, nobody really hit on either side of the ball until those started going away. So this is a perfect opportunity. 13K game, earned runs, looking real good, got the dub. Well, no, they didn't get the dub, but was looking real good. Now, this is a perfect opportunity. Sell high right now. Package him with like another one or two guys, and I think you probably could get somebody on this list today.
Yeah, I'll say this about Gore. I think Gore's really good. There's a reason he, it's a while ago now, but he was the number one pitching prospect in all of baseball for a reason. I always say progression isn't linear, and okay, Dom, you say this all the time. Yeah, but it's the truth. This might be the year for Gore. We don't know. It's definitely possible. For Gore, it's definitely possible that this could be the year he breaks out. But if you could sell him for, I don't know if I'm doing it for deGrom. deGrom's a tough one. He's always hurt. But if there's a world where you're packaging Gore and a little something else and you're getting Spencer Strider, I'm definitely doing that. There's a world where you're packaging Gore with a little something else and you're getting Dylan Cease. Are we going to look back at this in, 5 months and be like, hey, listen, Mackenzie Gore had the breakout year and he was a top 20 pitcher? It's possible. I'm not guaranteeing it. Hindsight's always 20/20. So that's while you strike while the iron's hot and you take advantage of what you can. We go with the track record we already have for Gore. And, he's getting a little bit older, still hasn't figured it out. I mean, this could be the year. He's only 26. So I'm not selling Gore for nothing. I'm definitely making sure I'm getting my good return here on Gore. I'm aiming high. If you can't get the Striders of the world, if you can't go out there and make a move like that, even like a Sneese or George Kirby, I might even do that at this moment. If you can't get those types of guys, I'm probably holding on Gore because I do think this could be the year for him. But hey, if you can go out there and make those trades, this is why we do this. Let's move on to this next guy. Let's talk about Jacob deGrom. And this is the easiest one for me, man. I'm the deGrom owner. I am looking to move him actively. I'm taking 85 cents on the dollar on deGrom here because you know what? He was drafted, as Matt mentioned earlier in this podcast. He was drafted as like a top 12, 13 pitcher. deGrom's first outing was great. He went 5 innings. He had 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 hits. He looked really good. The last time deGrom has started over 15 games, 2019. So I'm not banking on a lot from deGrom. I think he's like turning into like how Kershaw, we know Kershaw is always going to be hurt, but he'll be good while he's out there. I feel like that's deGrom. If deGrom gives us 15 to 20 starts this year, that's going to be a lot. So I'm selling deGrom for all I can at the moment. And once again, I'm probably taking as low as about 85 cents on the dollar when we're talking about draft price for deGrom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not opposed to that. It depends on who I'm getting. Like if I'm gonna be able to go out and get somebody like another buy low candidate thrown out there, Tanner Bybee.
He was good though. Bybee was really good in his first start.
He was, but the stat line doesn't say much. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
The 2Ks, but that's where people are. Anyway. But anyway, or like I could go out and get it. Like deGrom, I believe, was going higher than him anyway. So like, you are getting 85 cents on the dollar.
I'm sure you can go and do that right now, and I would. If you can go out there and trade deGrom for Bybee, that's a move.
Like there's moves out there. And you got to shoot your shot. deGrom name carries weight, and that is the biggest part. And this is the first year. I mean, everybody's gonna say, "Oh, deGrom's back." Find that Ranger fan, find that Met fan. You know what I'm saying? Find somebody still clinging on to the past, and quite honestly, you still might get the job done. Or find that one fan, that one player in your league that still has all the old heads on it and no young guys. Cough, cough, JP. Where you're just. You need they still living with it in the past, and that's the guy you got to try and trade deGrom off to. Let's move on. Another old guy, Paul Goldschmidt. He's having a good little start to the season. I'm not mad at it, but it ain't sustainable. 12 at bats, 5 runs, a double, no bomb yet, a rib. I'm sorry, a bomb. I apologize.
You got a bomb, yeah.
Bomb, 2 ribs. I skipped this. I skipped one. And batting .417. Like, this is great. You might have some, retro start of the season. Paul Goldschmidt. Bat speed is actually up from last year, which is actually impressive. No, actually a lot is down. But it's still better than most. He's not chasing as much, he's not whiffing as much. Yes, he still is striking out and not walking as much, but average exit velocity sitting at almost 90 miles an hour. There is some good stuff going on with Goldschmidt, but those days are done. And I even with the short porch, sell him now. People are hurting. Do it.
Yeah, I'm with you here on Goldie. I think he's going to be more useful in fantasy this year than he was last year. I still think there's a world where Goldie hits 25 home runs, has 80 RBIs, and hits 260-ish. I think that's a real possibility. We didn't have to pay too much for Goldie, so he's not going to be horrible. But the reason I decided to put him on the show is because I know there's that one or two guys in every league. Matt was talking about the old heads. You go find the old heads in your league, and they're all going to believe in Goldschmidt. Oh, he's back. He's on the Yankees. And once again, Goldschmidt's been literally the Iron Man of the MLB. He always has been healthy. Just at 37 to just still say to count on him to do it again. I'd rather go out there and see what I can get for Goldie. But guys, that is all for today. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review, and shout out to our everydayers and new listeners for making Locked On Fantasy Baseball your first listen each and every day. And guys, after you make us your first listen, go check out our boy Sully over at Locked On MLB. Make him your second listen each and every day. But guys, until next time.
Peace.